Hello YouTube. So on this video I'm gonna be showing you guys my process of buying a new car. Yes guys, you heard me right, I'm in a process of buying a new project car, so make sure you guys stay tuned and here we go. Alright guys, just finished up my breakfast. I'm gonna go ahead and meet up this guy. Hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully this car is in good condition. So let's keep this video going guys, and let's see how this day goes. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be 100% honest. This car actually I've owned for a while, maybe a couple months. I know I'm telling you guys that I'm gonna go and buy one, but I actually had it. So on this video I'm actually gonna show you on my way to looking at a car before you buy it. Alright guys, so here it is. It is going to be a 2007 Audi A6 with a 3.2 V6. You can see it does have some modifications. I actually did the tint. I did add the extra 5 horsepower with that decal. Make sure you guys check out my merchandise. Add some horsepower and some visual looks. Makes your car look 100 times better. I did the wheels. I spray painted the wheels. I'll put a link for you guys somewhere up here. Make sure you guys check that out. I do have to retouch them, but I'll do that. I got plenty of videos on this car coming up guys, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And again guys, like all my videos, I'm not an actual technician. I'm not anyone to tell you how to do it. I'm just telling you guys how I do it, so maybe you guys could get something off it. So again, I'm not a professional. I'm nothing to disclaimer. This is going to be my disclaimer. So let's go ahead and look at this car guys. Alright guys, so while doing the driving test, you want to pay attention on any squeaks. You want to go ahead and lower down your windows. You're going to listen for any squeaks, any little knocking, and you want to keep your ear out for that, especially when you're going through bumps. Also, a main thing you want to look out, keep an eye on, is for your gears. This car has 6 gears, so what you want to do is run the car and get to those 6 gears so you can make sure all the gears are running, your transmission's running fine. Also, if you want, actually after you do that run, you want to put it in reverse and just play around with those gears, make sure everything's running fine. And again, keep a close ear for any noises, any noises out there. And hopefully you don't hear any well, that's me hearing for any noises. While your gears are changing, you want to pay attention. There's no hard grinding or anything like that. Again, just keep an ear out for that. Right now I'm at 5th. Everything's fine. No unusual sounds. So you want to let it downshift. Again, you want to feel smooth. Your suspension, also you want to try to hit some bumps to make sure you guys don't hear anything rattling or anything like that. So far so good. All the gears have been running smooth. Suspension wise, also you want to try to let go of the steering wheel, see if make sure your alignment is going straight. So you want to pay attention to that. You don't want your steering wheel being straight and your car turning to either side. Right now I'm going to be showing you guys the tires, another indication your suspension's bad. So right now after this test drive, we're going to go ahead and look at that. And again, talking about the suspension, sometimes you could see the wear depending on where the wear is. It's in the sides, sometimes in the middle, sometimes it's just one side and it's eating up from this side or this side, sometimes both. And something's wrong with your suspension. Look at both tires. Sometimes one is worse than the other, sometimes they're both the same, but keep a close eye on that. So we're gonna keep this video going, guys. Even in low range, you want to check your gears going in smoothly. You don't want none of that. I don't know where to put those to describe that, but jerking. You don't want any jerking while your gears are changing. Second gear. Don't be afraid to press that accelerator, because you are gonna buy it. You know, you don't wanna. You want to make sure everything's fine. It's not gonna be running 100%. It's a used car, but you at least want something that's gonna last at least a couple years, depending on how much you're paying for the vehicle. This car does have a check engine. Also, don't be scared to ask any questions. Don't be afraid to ask the person if you could actually take it to AutoZone, because they do check it for free. And don't be shy. It is your money. It is your decision. So don't be scared. Don't be embarrassed to ask the guys. Like, is it cool if I go to AutoZone and check the codes or run it to see if it's nothing major? Most likely it's always going to be a sensor, and you want to check the price. You could always Google it too, because you know those stores do upcharge it. So make sure to do your research on the parts too before you actually buy the car. You don't want to buy a car and buy a $500 sensor. So make sure you guys do that research. Alright guys, so me explaining the mileage on a used car. A typical average mileage on a car is 10,000 miles to a year. So a regular car, regular driving, is usually 10,000 miles each year. So you guys could do that calculation. So if it's more than 10,000 miles, you could estimate how many miles is over or under. So that's a little explanation on the mileage when buying a used car. So make sure to keep that in mind. Sometimes the mileage doesn't really matter. You could have a 200,000 mileage car, as long as they keep the maintenance and they have all the proof for it, of course. Or you could just simply check the oil and you could see if it's dark or light. That's an indication on how much they maintain the car. Air filtered as well. So make sure you guys keep an eye on that as well, on the color and the velocity of the oil. So yeah. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open the hood. And right now what I'm actually going to pay attention to is going to be the fenders. Any screws that are different, that are loose, any different fittings, any different clamps like that one. So this I'm checking if there are any different, anything that's bent. That's going to be an indication that this car's been wrecked. Any stock parts, so this is the original, so we're good with that. So there's no head-on collision so far that I could see. There's no bends on any of the fenders. There's a little loose. We have some missing hoses. Everything seems stock, so that's a good sign. It's a good car. You don't want to buy something that's fully modded, because you don't know what type of work they put in it or who's done it. You want to check the levels. There's no corrosion. Everything seems to be clean. Now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and check the oil. And as you can see, it's not black, it's not dark. Again, that's a good indication that it's been maintained. on that sense. And that's if we're checking anything that's loose. Again, anything that's bent, anything that's different. Even sometimes you could tell with the colors if the bodies don't match. Let's say the fender doesn't match the door, that's an indication that something's wrong, something's been crashed. You want to check for any bondo. You want to knock, you could sometimes hear the difference. Again, you want to check different colors. The lights also, you could always tell if it's racked, if one's different than the other, one looks newer than the other. That's an indication that something went wrong there. There's little things you want to keep an eye on. That's really simple. You could also check the gap. The gaps are not going to be 100%, but again, you could easily tell sometimes when it's off. Everything seems to be all right. Again, you could turn it on. Once it's turned on, also you could check for any smog, any smoke coming out from the exhaust. You could always keep an eye on that too. Also, guys, a little quick tip. Always make sure you turn off and on the car just to make sure that's working fine. The starter, the battery, stuff like that. Everything gets programmed. So make sure you guys turn it off. Maybe wait a couple minutes, turn it back on. Make sure it turns back on. Check the keys, check all the windows if they work. The buttons, the locks. Make sure you guys check all the little things. Check all the lights. Everything's working. The seat, make sure it's working, it's moving, both of them. If it's electrical, make sure you guys mess with that. Again, check the locks, check if all the doors open. One thing you do as soon as you get here, open all the doors, open all the windows, close them up, make sure everything's working. And if it's not, you could always work with the price, change your mind, don't buy it, but make sure you're set on that, because sometimes these guys don't tell you, or the battery's already going out. So make sure you guys turn on and off the car just to make sure the battery, alternator, starter is working. Okay, let's talk about the tires. Sometimes these guys are going to be telling you the tires are new, the tires are good. Sometimes they are good, sometimes they look good, and they're actually old. Right, I'm going to be showing you the date. These tires actually have a date on them. They usually last 5 years. Maybe they'll look good from the outside, but in the inside they're it's rubber, so it's breaking little by little. So we're going to be checking those. Again, the wear, we already talked about the wear. And let's go ahead and check the year on these tires. Alright guys, so this is going to be the year, the month and the year these tires were made. And it's from 02, that's a 09 from 20. So it's the 9th week of the year 2020. So these tires are 4 years old. Again, make sure that the guy's telling you the tires are good, the tires I just put in. Make sure you tell them, I'm not buying tires, I'm buying the car. So keep that in mind, guys. Don't ever base yourself on the tires, because that's something real quick people will try to sell. So again, check every button, check the horn, check your blinkers, check everything's working, guys. Everything. Again, yours is your money. This is going to be your investment. So make sure you check it, even though the person might be looking at you weird or it's hot outside, the guy's waiting. Make sure you guys take your time. Make sure everything's fully working. You don't want to get home and find out your battery's dead, or you find out your windows don't go up, your locks don't work, your handles don't open the car. So make sure you do that. Don't forget the trunk. Make sure you guys check the trunk. Right now I have a lot of mess in my truck, so I'm not going to open it. But you want to open it. You want to check for any water. Make sure the smell alone, just make sure it doesn't smell moldy. That's a good indication that water went into that trunk. It's a bad thing nowadays because they do have a lot of electronics in the trunk. This car actually has a battery in the trunk, so you guys be very careful when you're buying a car that has battery and electronics in the trunk, because people don't keep that in mind, and people just put their coolers, ice chest, or whatever full of ice. The water's down and it could get into the electrical. So make sure you guys keep an eye on that. Any rust, smell, mold, keep an eye on that. Sunroof. So this car has a sunroof. Again, make sure you guys check the button, make sure if it closes properly. Especially, you don't want water to get into your car. Radio, AC, also make sure all these buttons work, make sure everything's working. Again, you don't want to get home and realize your AC or your heater doesn't work, so make sure you guys test both of them out, play with them, make sure everything's working. Radio, also mats, make sure you guys look under the mats. What you're looking for is not mess, you're actually looking for any mold. Again, anything that looks like it's gotten wet, any moisture. You don't want to buy a car that has been flooded or anything like that. And here are the buttons, make sure they all work. Again, AC really important, especially here in South Texas. Gotta make sure all those buttons work. This one has heated seats, turn them on. Again, don't be embarrassed, don't be scared. Ask questions. Play around with them, make sure everything's working. Speakers, I know it's not important, but at the end it's gonna cost you in the long run if you don't test it out and you find out your speakers are not working or something. So make sure you guys play with the radio, with the buttons. Make sure everything's working, especially on these cars. Everything's electrical. So make sure everything's working, guys. Also, guys, don't be scared to go under the car. Check for any leaks. If anything looks wet, anything looks oily. I know it's kind of hard. I know sometimes it might be too hot. But go ahead and... Alright, guys, there you go. Hopefully you found this video useful and entertaining. Like always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, don't forget about that merch. Plenty of merch out there for you guys. Thank you.